ELI5. How is a full chicken so cheap? In addition to what's been mentioned, realize that whole chicken isn't actually a whole chicken. The organs have been removed and sold elsewhere. The feathers have been removed and sold elsewhere. The blood has been removed and sold elsewhere. The beak, neck, feet and whatever other assorted no-so-tasty bits have been removed and sold elsewhere. And the manure it produced during its life. Sold, hopefully elsewhere, if not used by the farmer as fertilizer. Point is, there's a lot more value in the complete bird than the stripped carcass you end up with, delicious as it may be. I've had the exact same thought. How the hell can something that takes a year or more to produce by the source producer ultimately only end up costing the consumer a few pounds, euros, dollars, after it has been processed, stored, shipped, and put up for sale in a brick-and-mortar store that needs to pay staff and refrigeration and all manner of other costs? I think it must be the eggs. The sale of the eggs it produces before slaughter, partially to offset the cost of, even on a massive scale, feeding and housing the chicken itself. In the US, fully cooked rotisserie chickens are sometimes advertised as cost leaders, promotional items, to get you in the door of the supermarket. Then almost everyone buys other items, as part of their shopping. What amazes is a Big Mac can be $7 and feeds one person. Whereas a rotisserie complete chicken $10 and feeds 4 people. Because there are extremely high subsidies in place and because factory farming reduces the capital costs massively at the expense of animal welfare. The last number I'm aware of placed the full capital cost of raising a single chicken in humane conditions at around 15–20 euros pre-COVID pandemic. They take a loss to get you in the store. This is at least the Costco way. They want you to walk all the way back of the store to the deli, while impulse shopping along the way. Come in for a $5 chicken, go out with $300 worth of stuff. Source me Costco deli employee for 5 years because they're not proper chickens. Go buy farm direct, you'll get a half chicken that is twice the amount of meat as a store-bought chicken. Local farm direct chickens around here are about $50 each, compared to $8 for a supermarket chicken. Supermarket chickens are mostly bone. They're cheap because they grow quickly and eat relatively cheaply. Chickens can be market ready in 2–3 months, an average of 42 days in the EU, and 48 in the US, to name 2 regional markets. Edits. Thanks to you Fiendish Rabbit for the clarification to my initial post. Short answer: animal abuse. These chickens don't live nice lives, need to get their beaks clipped because they are kept in too small cages so they attack each other. Their legs don't hold their massive weight so they collapse and can't even stand up. It's industrial meat. I'm happy to say I never ate chicken in all my life. They are so cheap because of mass production. This makes me cringe, because I'm talking about living creatures done in the cheapest way possible. Their whole short life is suffering until death. That's why, at supermarkets, rotisserie chickens are known as loss leaders. They intentionally offer the chicken at below cost to get you in the door. As for chicken in general, yeah, it doesn't seem to make any sense that the whole life cycle costs so little. Don't watch Poison on Netflix. The food safety documentary. Apparently most chicken is contaminated with salmonella because it's not legally considered an adulterant. Yes, you heard me. Holy shit, that documentary was mind-blowing. A friend of mine asked the same question. We worked it out. The farmer can only spin a matter of seconds. I seem to remember it was under 2 minutes at absolute most on any particular chicken in order for the money to work out. The farms are mechanized and automated. The cost of the chicken for a large established institution is some electricity, 15–20 kilograms of feed and very little labor. The feed is mostly grain byproducts that aren't good for much else. Are you talking about grocery store whole roasted chickens? They aren't. Grocery stores lose money on them. They are famous loss leaders to get people into the store where they will likely buy more than the chicken. You can get them below cost as a rotisserie in some supermarkets. They are sold as a loss leader because the psychology of smell makes people shop more. Akin to baking bread or making fresh coffee when selling a home. They sell at a loss so they can advertise, pull you into the store to buy other items. Also, farming, especially for meat, is often very heavily subsidized by governments in developed countries. Shitty meat: you are literally eating abused chicken raised at a meat farm. Try to buy something from an ethical farmer and it will be expensive. And most on sale in the UK are imported from Thailand, which somehow explains it and yet makes it even more mind-boggling. They're extremely cheap to breed, basically free to feed, and you don't have to pay the labor of breaking it down. Subsidies on feed, cheap standardized processing, commodification of a live individual, Authorized cruelty. Also, don't forget that the government pays out huge subsidies to meat industry to keep the price cheaper. And a whole chicken requires less processing than chicken sold in pieces. Less labor, lower cost. Follow-up question: how many chickens die to keep a place like Chick-fil-A or KFC open for one day?